Hello once again. If you've watched Chapter 8 of this project, you'll know it was a complete and total failure, and I had to scrap the whole thing. Now we're starting again with lessons learned, and hopefully we'll have a viable product by the end. It's time for casting number 2, or at least it's close to time. I've got the foundation, the whole thing ripped out obviously. Foundation form is in place. You can see this time I've just pounded rebar into the ground instead of forming it into the base. And of course around the corner we've got the mixer set up. I don't have the concrete over here yet, but now it's time to get started. Okay, let's get some concrete mixed up. Now down there in the small bucket is the 4 pints of water recommended by Quikrete. Let me see if I can get a close-up look of the bag here. You can see in here they've got 4 pints of water, which has never been enough in the past. We're going to see if that super plasticizer works it out. So that should be enough. No! Of course, now I've got to go weigh my water again. I just dumped some of my water by kicking it. Let me go fix this. Alright, the 4 pints. It's supposed to weigh out to 4 pounds of water. That's what we have. Still a little bit dusty there. It's going to be concrete dust. You don't want to breathe the concrete dust. So we're going to add most of the water. Again, we want to avoid the dust as the water gets mixed into it. Assuming that the Quikrete is a 1-2-3 ratio, the rest of this water should work out to about 0.4% water. I don't see any magic happening left with that super plasticizer. We're at about 5 minutes now. So I'm going to put in the rest of this water. So now we're at a 0.4 ratio with a 0.5% super plasticizer. This will bring the super plasticizer up to 1%. 4 pounds of water weighed out, so it's twice as much that's supposed to be in there. And we're going to add it a cup at a time until we get a mix that I'm happy with. That's what I'm going with. 2.5 cups more. And then we got to turn around and get the corn filled. Alright, I've got to get that other bag going. A little bit different this time. I know how. Let's take out. Sorry about that. is. Gotta figure out what to do with the rest of this mix. Maybe make a couple of stepping stones. We'll come back in a while and finish up the edges. Here's my new foundation in place. This one is oversized, and we'll see that once I get the form in place. 4 pieces of rebar coming up just to keep it located. And over here, take a quick look. Over here is my new plywood form. And let's see, let's get a little bit more light going on here. There we go, a little more light on the subject. And that's the lower form. The inner form is already inside. Over here we've got the top form. And this is essentially the same design as it was before, with one minor change. Of course, we've got these in here supporting the cuts, which should help me break it apart. Numerous reinforcings in there. This screw at the bottom, let's take a look at the bottom here. We see I've got that aluminum plate that it's threaded into, which in theory will allow me to pull that bottom form up and out once the concrete is set. And let's get back over to the main form. Over here inside, those clamps are there temporarily. And that there is a spacer keeping me the wall thickness. I've got one on each side. Those will be removed as I fill it up with the concrete. Down inside, that we can't really see right now, down at the bottom, got this string that's got a couple of other spacers that'll need to be pulled out. And these, again, these are spacers. You can see what this is. Very simple, keeping the wall spacing as I fill it up. And the major change I have here are those 2 aluminum tubes. They're threaded. I've got a screw holding it into the bottom, and over here we can see it down here. There's a hole going through here. Those will be drain holes. Any water that gets into the upper part of the form will drain out, and the aluminum is there to space it up. As you saw in the previous one, that upper form floated up on the concrete, so now I'm going to actually have it screwed down to the lower form as well as weighted with sand to ensure that it doesn't move up out of the way. So essentially, I believe I'm ready to go, and it's time to get the form set up on the foundation. Be sure to subscribe to follow this project and hit that notification bell to be informed of future updates.